think people's pride also gets in the way too. You know, it's like I'm not gonna work at McDonald's, or I'm not gonna work at at a supermarket. And it's funny because I was watching an interview that Jay-Z was on, and Sean Carter. For those of you who know, obviously, for those of you who don't know, he's a musician, an entrepreneur. I think hip hop's one of hip hop's billionaires or something like that. And when he was saying that he came up in the streets, right? He said the time that he actually spent in the streets doing negative activity, right? If he would have just worked at McDonald's, he probably would have made more money that way, But like I said, people have this, like you were saying, people have this perception that, they want to do things to get themselves in a better position, but they're willing to risk their lives for it, Exactly. And it's unfortunate that, those things do happen. And instead of taking the longer route, taking that 2-3 years of that job that you really don't like, but maybe saving some money, right? And then being able to, elevate yourself
yes.
and invest in yourself,
yes.
right? And push and create something. For us, it was, this dance company, right? Fly, and being able to push it and move it forward, right? Getting with Kathy in the early years, Kathy Wood, the founder of Fly,
yes.
Taught me the game, and I was able to see that. And when the opportunity came for us to, for me to make that move and say, hey, Kathy, I think I want to take over that company, right? And she felt that, not only are you going to keep the brand going, but you have the knowledge to do that,
yes.
right? And from that, I was able to start on the 11, have my Henry the Hip Hop Hippo, and sold lots of books because of that right there, you know
Big
what I mean?
shout out to Henry the Hip Hop
Henry
Hippo.
the Hip Hop Hippo. Go to onthylove.com and
Big
you can
shout
order
out.
that. But the thing is that, I was able to invest in myself, even with this podcast, right? We're spending time, to come here out of our busy schedules, so you guys, and you being a music producer, right? Talk about that, your life after Fly, right? And you investing into yourself. And we've talked about, you having different businesses and
yes.
things of that nature. But let's talk to that kid who's out there who wants to be in music, right? So how hard has it been, or what are some things that you can give them to some knowledge on that,
Man, honestly, the hardest thing getting started doing anything, whether it be a business or taking on a new hobby, anything that you're about to embark on, and it's going to take you that leap of faith for you to do it. It can be it can be a bit discouraging sometimes because you don't know what to do. You don't know. It's that fear of the unknown,
Right.
So the hardest thing was just me battling myself in my mind, getting myself to just to do it, So if there's something that you're passionate about, whether it be music, sports, entrepreneurship, you got to take that leap of faith and go ahead and invest in yourself.
Ooh, say that one more time.
You have to take that leap of faith and invest in yourself.
Invest in yourself. So that's what we're telling you guys. Invest in yourself. If you don't invest in yourself, what makes you think that somebody else is going to invest in you?
Preach.
Think about that right there.
That's true.
Right? Now, Jesse, you have a brand of clothing brand, and you've been working with that for a few years, right?
Right.
So let's touch on that, man, because this is something, it's been a passion of yours, but it hasn't been easy. Some people think that, hey, it's just easy I'm just going to put my name on a logo and just get it out there. What are some some challenges that you went through that you could share with the youth out there?
Well, just like Shadow said, the first one was to actually just do it. I have a clothing brand. It's called The90Three. Originally, it was called 1993, but we just actually revamped the whole company, and we got a brand new logo. Shout out to Frank Hicks. He's actually a former Fly Kids.
Oh, let's give him a shout out.
Yeah, Frank Hicks is actually a former Fly Kids member, and now he's into like graphic design. He went to school for that, and that's his profession.
That's
We actually got to link up with him, and he's the one who created our new logo.
And real quick, listen, in case they don't know, what was Fly Kids and what was that?
So Fly Kids was a spin-off group from Fly Dance Company. Kathy Wood partnered up with a local dance teacher, and they created a mini group called Fly Kids, where we got I think it was 20 of us. We were all the ages of 8 to 10, and we were basically like a mini version of Fly Dance Company. We did shows. We learned how to be professional dancers as well at a young age. We also taught workshops and stuff to other students.
Wow.
So it was a wild experience because I remember we got booked to go teach a workshop, and Kathy walked in with 10 kids, And the lady who hired us was all like, "Oh, you brought your own kids to come and take the workshop too?" And she was all like, "No, they're teaching the workshop." She was like, "They're teaching the workshop. They're the same age as the kids that are here." And she's all like, "Well, you have to wait and see." And that actually helped out a lot too, because the other kids seeing us teaching them like that, it got them motivated and inspired to get into dance and like that.
Oh, that's very
let's give it up for
impactful.
Kathy one more time.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
Fly Kids. Who would have thought, Shadow? When you started, who would have thought that when you started this, bro? It would be that, right? That's awesome, man.
But yeah.
So he was the designer that did your logo. Now he's he came from that.
Yeah, he came from that same background
Wow.
too.
That's
But I
dope.
mean, to say, yeah, it's just one thing is to actually just do it.
Yeah.
You know, another thing too is that like you just have to do a lot of research. You have to know what
Yes.
you're doing, because if you just start going out there not knowing what to do, it could kind of get you in a bigger mess. You know what I mean? So right now we have 4 people in it. It's me, my friend Gustavo Trevino, and he was a Fly Kids too.
Absolutely, shout out.
And I have my friend Miguel Lavalle,
Mhm.
and my Vey. She also is part of the team too. When we first started it was about 3 years ago, and it was just me and Gus, and ever since then we've been working hard with it. It's a lot of responsibility, you know. We learned as we go, and it's a lot to do, because you have to do the marketing, you have to do the finances, you have to do the inventory, you know, you got to build the website, then you got to manage sales. So it's a lot of work, but the way I see it is life is short. And if you're going to be busy working, you might as well you put everything into something that you love and something that you really want to do, because, you know, life's too short and you don't want to have any regrets. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I think having a product that can deliver, you know, like when somebody places an order, make sure you deliver that, right? Shadow, any tips for our entrepreneurs out there? Anything that we probably didn't touch on that you want to shine the light on?
Just know that a lot of people think that when you work for yourself, that it's easier and you just have all this time and free time, and it's like it could be the furthest thing from the truth. You have to work that much harder.
Correct.
Now you're not going to get a guaranteed vacation holiday. You're not going to get a guaranteed paycheck every week or every 2 weeks. You know, you actually have to ensure that you go get that paycheck.
Absolutely.
If you want a day off, you have to work hard enough to be able to afford that day off. So when you work for yourself, you have to work 10 times as harder.
Absolutely.
There is no day off. So that's why you got to make sure that you're doing something that you're passionate about and you love doing.